Hi, it's Dr. Doug Curtis.
And Lucy Curtis from Dyslexic and Unstoppable. Our mission is to help dyslexics rediscover their inner power.
That's right. Today we have a video that came from a conversation that you had with Felix Alexander, our son. So why don't you start with that?
This morning I was driving them to sailing lessons, and Felix Alexander started asking me about if ever he was like somebody had said something about that he needed to do summer school or something like that, and I wasn't sure where it came from, but we started talking about it, and I said no. And then I started explaining. It was like, well, who goes to summer school and why do they go to summer school and things like that. And I said, well, you know, one example is if you were sick or something for a month or something like that, you have to catch up. Or if you had a difficulty during the year and they don't necessarily want you to repeat the grade, then they'll make you do summer school to catch up to go to the next grade. And then he started talking about, you know, like, well, what's, you know, he was trying to figure out what it all meant and where, like, I could see his brain going like, well, what about me when I was having trouble. And I started explaining that, you know, when he was having trouble in first grade, like it was May, right? May of first grade, when they said, wow, he's super smart, he's you know, really brilliant, but he's behind in his reading, and they were questioning holding him back. And for us it was like, wait a minute, we questioned it right away because those two things don't go together, you know, like so for us our first response is not, oh sure, let's do that. It's why, you know,
and looking into it.
And
yeah, and for myself, actually, I see this a lot now because as a pediatrician right now in the summer, we're doing a lot of physicals, and you know, I see a lot of kids, and mostly we talk about their camps and the things they're doing and that kind of stuff. But every once in a while, there's a child who's in summer school, and something you brought up very big, like a big point for insight for me was how many of these kids actually have dyslexia and just need some extra help in helping them decode the words and that kind of stuff. So how could a parent try to figure out whether it is just a child who, well, I mean, obviously if your child was sick for a month and needs to just make up some work, then that's easy. But if it's more, they went through the year, they had difficulty, the school suggested summer school, but they think there's something else going on. Like, what kind of clues do you think would?
Well, first of all, is you have to look at the whole year, right? Was it just reading? Was it writing? Was it speech? Was there multiple things going on, right? And the second thing is, are they progressing? Right? If they're not progressing in summer school, or if they had services during the year, even if they had services during the year, and they didn't progress, they progressed a little bit, like I see that a lot. Kind of progressed, but the report card shows otherwise. You know, it kind of, oh yeah, it's much better, but not really, because the report card is, and I see that, or it's bad. Like I know somebody who's, oh yeah, we've had these services, but look at my child's report card. I'm like, well, okay, you need to get more than this, right? But, so either you had services or not during the year, right? And then in the summer you're going through all these classes and there's no improvement, or your child is struggling with the reading so much, then you need to question it, because if we had put Felix Alexander, let's say we weren't pig-headed like we are, and me would have said, okay, we'll just do this summer school and not even go anywhere else, he wouldn't have progressed. He wouldn't have progressed at all, because they don't teach you the way a dyslexic needs to learn. So it wouldn't have done anything for him.
No, exactly, and I, you know, I see that in kids that I see in my practice too, where you know, if you have a child who's across many areas having difficulty and just needs to catch up, they're just a little bit behind, and that's a different story. But the child who has this specific area, it's every time reading comes up, it's every time writing comes up, it's when spelling comes up, then you need to investigate it further. And I think, maybe we're, beginning of July now, at this point, you go through the summer school, but at the same time, tell the school, well, I need to get them tested for dyslexia. Look for resources outside that, look at the alphabet test that we talk about on our website. But other ways of trying to figure out, is there something else going on? Because if there's something else going on and there's a specific learning disability, then they need, or learning problem, they need to be helping that child with that problem.
Yeah, and then it could take, if there's no progression, there's not like an improvement is the word I'm looking for, then your child is falling behind, and it gets their self-esteem and all these. That's the big thing about us. The whole point of our books and I say books because we're working on 2 other ones. So. Is it keeping them empowered because they're smart. Dyslexic are smart. So we don't want them to lose that. But if you keep, if you need to go with your gut. First thing we go is my gut's instincts is drives me. So that's why I was like, okay, this doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. Let's investigate. So, but if you're not feeling that the classes or the tutoring or these things are not helping you, it needs to be a red flag.
Right.
Big red flag that this is not it. This is because really, dyslexics, like I said to Felix Alexander, if you would have gone to these classes, it wouldn't have helped you. We went to regular reading classes. It didn't help at all. Like minimal, because it didn't address the issue.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I think you said something else great is the whole thing with the self-esteem. They start out with great self-esteem, and then these little issues take away. That's where Sparky came up, and our whole thing of rediscovering your inner power, because it's there. The kids have it. They are smart. They know they have that inner power, and we're just here to help you rediscover it. Anyway, so think about it, for this year, for next year, if your child's having issues and they're talking about repeating or summer school, think, could it possibly be dyslexia? And of course, leave us a comment below, let us know what you think, and visit us at dyslexicanunstoppable.com.
Thank you.
Thanks.